Mr. Minister, welcome to CGTN.
Good to see you again.
Great to see you, sir.
Yeah, nice weather here.
Absolutely.
Except
after
for
the
typhoon.
rain.
Yeah.
But many wonder, the weather is getting better. Will the APEC, the meetings here, also getting more efficient? Will APEC this year be a talk shop, or actually we're going to have something?
To say that APEC has been a talk shop all these years, I think it's not a good description of our achievements. And I know that the Vietnamese government has been putting a lot of effort. There's potential for some good outcomes coming from this meeting in Da Nang.
Yeah, but there are a lot of questions relating to the region, though. For example, RCEP. We understand that this is quite an idea that Malaysia is embracing right now, rather than the TPP. Tell us why.
There was a time when we were focusing a lot more on RCEP, that's a fact, especially when it became official on the 23rd of January that America is withdrawing from TPP. Before that, it was just a statement from the incoming president. Yes. But when President Trump was officially inaugurated, 20th of January, 23rd January, there was this official statement that they are saying goodbye to TPP. Since then, we've been working extra hard on RCEP. We've been working hard on RCEP for the last 3-4 years. And we've been working very hard with 15 other countries. But I must say in recent months, there's been quite a good pickup in activities surrounding TPP 11. And we've been part of that process. We've been playing a constructive role. We were part of TPP, partly because of the potential better access of the American market. That was TPP 12. But then when America wasn't going to be part of TPP, we had to do some recalculation, and in our view, provided certain conditions are met, then TPP 11 could be a viable option. Therefore, in the last few weeks, I would say as State Minister from Malaysia, we've been giving equal priority to TPP 11 and RCEP. But before that, especially a few months after the official announcement, we have been quite slow in embracing TPP 11. Yeah?
I see. Are you struggling to balance? It sounds you are struggling to balance between these two. To me,
no, it's not a struggle. I mean, our position has been these are equally important. Yeah, we see them as complementing each other. Yeah.
And what about the other things? It seems that governments are struggling around the world, trying to come up with some kind of mechanism, but the private sector is running much more ahead than the governments, the civil societies too. For example, the EWTP, if I remember it right, which is the Electronic World Trading Platform, that is proposed by Alibaba from China. Mr. Minister, are the governments losing out to the other sectors of the world?
A few days ago, we had Jack Ma in KL launching the first digital free-trade zone outside of China. And the governments, of course, are responding to this fast-changing development in ASEAN. We've been talking a lot about e-commerce. In Malaysia, we have a national e-commerce master plan. In APEC, we are very, very keen to have discussions on this matter, including digital economy. Yes, you're right, the private sector is moving very fast. And we wish, Malaysia's view is that the government's got to respond quickly to some of these developments.
So congratulations, of course, at Malaysia being the very first country. Being the
There's
very
a lot of
first
excitement
country.
in Malaysia, yeah. Within a few months, I mean, it happens so quickly, yeah.
And also, you have to build a lot of storage places for all of these products.
Yeah.
So that being done within just a few months' time is quite a miracle, I would say.
Yeah, yeah. The good thing about this is that, of course, firstly, there's efficient clearance of cargo, of course, a bigger market. The other is we can keep track, I mean, in terms of data, what kind of products is it. I mean, we're going to be in possession of a lot of data, and that can be used for many things, for planning.
Mr. Minister, there used to be a time when the world seems to be rallied around certain ideas. Globalization,
yes,
for example.
Yes.
Trade.
Yeah.
Trade going to help everybody.
Yes.
Exchanges would benefit everyone.
Yeah.
But now we see a world very much divided. when you don't have common values anymore, it's very hard to do things, particularly business, which is your area. Mr. Minister, in your job, how can you face a situation like this? What needs to be changed in order to be fixed?
Yes, indeed. Yes, some people have not fully benefited from globalization, and it's working. For example, in Malaysia, there's been, in terms of Gini coefficient, for example, there's been an improvement in income distribution. We have done well in poverty eradication. And this is a temporary aberration, yeah, overreaction to some of the rough edges of globalization, and we believe we'll be back on our senses, and people will go back to the multilateral trading system.
Well, we hope everybody could be as relaxing as you just said, but things are not like that, because the growth of the world economy really needs a central idea for everybody to rally around, particularly the major economies. So for Malaysia, in the region of ASEAN, how do you see your roles at this rough time? How do you balance that? Yeah. That is a question.
Firstly, some major countries, China, Europe, America, growth is still quite robust. For Malaysia, we are strong believers in closer economic integration, and ASEAN is the place where there is concrete evidence that the opening up of our economies have resulted in a higher level of economic growth. I mean, you have the dynamism in ASEAN, and you have China still playing a constructive role in terms of providing good source of economic growth. Therefore, these have become good drivers of global economic growth. You have China, you have India, and ASEAN. This probably with the three pillars, certainly in Asia, but even in the world, we have China, India, and ASEAN growing at.
Now it seems that things are changing. The decision-making process is moving around the world and spread around the world. When it comes to this year's APEC, when it comes to ASEAN meetings with China, with the Northeast Asian region, with 6 partners, people get extremely excited.
RCEP is new, TPP is new, but Davos continues to have that attraction, yeah,
of course.
where we consider Davos to be a platform very important. I mean, the big speech by President Xi, for example, beginning of this year, created a lot of waves throughout the world. So this is a very significant event in the history of Davos. I mean, in the past it's been, so in a way, U.S. and Western Europe has played a very important role in Davos, but this year you have China filling up that gap. So for us, Davos will continue to play a useful role. Yeah.